Hi, we're talking about prayer, and we are on the fourth letter of the word pray as we give a specific formula for how to pray. So many people are not comfortable with just silence or meditation or the things that I love to do. I like to go into the sanctuary, or I like to sit out under a tree, or I like to gaze upon the sky or upon the stars. But so many people prefer to have a guided way of meditation or a specific formula for prayer. So we talked about P for praise, we talked about R for repent, we talked about A for ask, and today we're going to talk about Y. Y could stand for the word yield. Yield our spirits to the Spirit of the one who made us. Yield our will to the will of our Maker. Yield our agenda to the agenda of the one who knows the future, who holds us and our future in the palm of God's hand, who knows the plans that God has for us, and they're plans for good. We want to get out of our self-centered and limited understanding agendas, because we can only see partly. You know what 1 Corinthians 13 says? Now we see in a mirror dimly, then we will see face to face. We can only understand part of the big picture. We can't see the whole puzzle, but God can. So we want to yield our spirits and our wills to God, who knows everything, who's omnipotent. We want to be in God's will, and we want truly for God's purposes to be accomplished in us. If that is the desire of your heart, then you've reached a really high level of prayer. Because then our time of praying is, this last section is a time in which we can say to God, God, use me today as you see fit. Or God, use me in this conversation, or in this time, or in this meeting, or in this workplace, or in this interaction. Use me, oh God, for your eternal purposes, for your purposes of love and healing and reconciliation, for making the world right. When we desire that, we will be mightily blessed ourselves as well. This isn't about letting go of all of God's goodness for us, but it is about recognizing that we are a part of a much bigger whole, and that bigger wholeness, we can be an instrument in furthering God's loving purposes if we are willing to yield our agenda, our thoughts, our words, our actions. In other words, we're asking God to guide us. And so we willingly recognize that by faith we are saying, God, here I am. Use me. And then we can trust that maybe God will navigate our path a little differently, or will put a detour in our plans for that day, but we won't get upset. We won't get worked up over it, because we know that we intentionally yielded ourselves and our day and our time to God. May God's will be done in you and through you. And may you rejoice in knowing that God is using you powerfully. So whatever comes your way, whether you're expecting it or whether it's easy or not, know that you've asked God to use you. You're yielding, that letter Y, yield. You're yielding your spirit to the Almighty, and it is being done, and you can rejoice in that. We'll talk next time. See you then.